Hello, my darlings. Happy Monday. Today, we're talking about a really fun transit. It's the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. And this is a transit that is going on for the entirety of 2024, started in 2023, went all the way to 2025. It's affecting my chart, which I have it behind me pretty intensely. And I wanted to kind of offer a little bit of grounding, validation. Sometimes when it comes to astrology, when it comes to the new moons and the full moons, it's like manifest, release all the things. And it can be somewhat like anxiety producing. So something that this transit specifically is highlighting is we really can't utilize our old codependent patterns. We can't lie. We, are all processing so many different inner things. But what this transit specifically is activating are some of our trauma responses. And so I had a little bit of, I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to title the video, but I think where can you lead and where can you follow? And really, when it comes to the term follow, I want to kind of put a new lens on it as to where can you learn, where can you surrender. If you are of a divine masculine and you do not follow a God of your understanding, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. You know what I mean? And so where can you lead? North Node in Aries. And where can you follow, surrender, and not utilize our old kind of trauma response patterns of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And so we're going to kind of get into it today. So hi everyone, welcome. My name is Sarah, if we have not met. I am a quantum healer. I kind of specialize in personal growth and development, leadership growth and development, training, making sense of all of this spiritual jargon and kind of what's going on, but we utilize it for our greatest, most authentic selves. I'm guiding you from, type A sometimes to B. So please, if you'd like, this is my chart behind me. I'm a Scorpio rising, and so this is kind of what we're talking about over here, and this is what I'm releasing over here. So if you'd like to grab a journal, I'll give you some dates as to when this transit started and why it's kind of getting super duper activated right now, and when the transit is going to end as well. So right now I have my tea. I had a new thing of honey yesterday. It was just it's hitting the spot. I have some more water as well, but please go grab your journal, some coffee or tea if you'd like to join me. And I'm going to give you the dates first because like the title says, it's 2023 to 2025. So the entirety of this year, the North Node is going to be in Aries. And the South Node will be in Libra. I'll get into all of that, but I'll give you the dates right now. So it was around the 12th of July, 2023, that the North Node left Taurus and went into Aries. Give or take that time, because there's a true and a mean node. So if you need the specificity, definitely deep dive into that, but I'm giving you around about the time. And then the North Node is going to leave Aries on the 29th of January, 2025, and it's going to go into the sign of Pisces. So, Sarah, what does any of this mean? So because I wear big old glasses, always look at things as lenses, where we are consciousness running human avatars. We're running these meat suits. And the way that we view the world is through different lenses, whether they be trauma responses, whether they be, identify as this type of a person or this type of a person, or I'm an Aries, I'm a Pisces, I'm a Scorpio, I'm a this. And you're viewing it through all of these lenses. So all this information is already available to you in infinite different ways and in infinite different types of people that are going to deep dive into every single astrological rabbit hole that you could possibly dive down. There's literally infinite information on these little telephones that we carry around in our pockets all the time. So it's really just what resonates with you. So I'm really hopeful that maybe you being at my multidimensional cafe, that this resonates with you. That'd be super cool. So what did I write down? Are you a leader or follower? If you're not ready, sit, breathe, learn, and grow. Okie dokie. Let's look at the North Node. Let's just look at the lens of the North Node. What is the North Node? That is our collective destiny. I think it's called the head of the dragon. It's where we're going towards. What we came to this planet to master, to do, to accomplish, to experience. And then the South Node, if the North Node is the head of the dragon. The South Node, this is the North Node in transit, and this is the South Node in transit. South Node is, past life patterns, for lack of a better human term. It's what we're releasing, but it's also where we're most comfy. Like what feels really easy. We've done this before. We know how to do it. It's just like you can slip effortlessly into your South Node placement. You can just, it just feels fine. Just feels fine. Honest to goodness. And so when it comes to the North Node, it might feel a little awkward. Truly. It might feel super duper awkward, especially the fact that that's Chiron right over here. That's Chiron. That's the wounded warrior, the wounded healer. What do you know about Chiron in myth? He was the teacher of Achilles and Hercules. He was a centaur that basically, I'm gonna butcher this, but like when he was born to like a goddess, and she was like, you're a freaking half horse, half human, literally threw the baby out with the bathwater, and he was wounded and injured at the very beginning of his life. Yet all he wanted to do was teach, and all he wanted to do was be helpful. He was of service. He knew that he came to this planet to do something, and regardless, trauma responses, of what happened to him when he was a baby, he's like, I've got bigger things to do. So even with intrinsic pain, even with all of that experience, and there are many other components to his physical pain and stuff like that, I'm butchering it, like I said, it's just a lens that we're looking at this through. So the reason that this especially is going to feel super duper awkward for us is because of Chiron. So North Node, where we're going, head of the dragon. Chiron, wounded healer. I know I gotta do something. Collective destiny. They're pretty close in the sky right now. As I record this, Chiron is at 16 degrees of Aries, and the North Node is around 18 degrees of Aries. So they're close enough by 2 that we're talking about it. So that's what we know about what we're going into. Another lens, Aries. Aries usually runs the first house of the zodiac wheel, the general wheel. They're the infant baby rams of the zodiac. Their statement is I am. So again, another lens that we're putting in front of this is I am going towards something specific. Chiron doesn't always feel good, and it might be something that you've never done before. Aries are leaders. If you've ever met an evolved or evolving Aries, they can be somewhat competitive, but in a way where it's like, I need to do this first to show you what it's going to feel like, what's going to happen when you get there, and report back. I just need to go first. The negative side of Aries is they can be very self-centered, very impatient, very competitive, but not in really the fun way, and they will only speak from I statements, and which I'll talk about I statements all the time. We have to speak from I statements. We can only speak from our own experiences. But it's more so like that, like you're talking about yourself, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. What do you think of me? How did you feel about the story that I just told? Which portion of that story was most enlightening for you, and how do you feel about me? And so that's an unevolved Aries, but an evolved Aries, they're a fire sign. They can also be, they're the main characters of the entire world, along with Leo and Sagittarius. And it's like being baby and daddy rolled into one. They can be very emotional, very triggered easily, but also like cry really quick and then come out of it very quick. So just like give an Aries their moment. If they're lashing out and they have their moment, just like leave them in the playpen for a little while and let them come back in. And I'm an Aries, so I can say this to you. Like sometimes if I get triggered, I have to remove myself from the building, probably cry outside by the dumpster, and then just whack myself across the face, and then just go back out there and rock as if nothing has ever happened. So that's okay. That's okay to do. And my natal sun in Aries is conjunct Jupiter in Aries. This is at 2 degrees. This is at 5 degrees. So in my 5th house of creativity, play, and childlike spirits and romance. So I can come across as, obviously this is how 36, almost 37-year-old women dress and look. Yeah. Oh, it's in my 5th house of play. We'll get to it. That's why I wanted to highlight this, because astrology is so specific and infinite upon infinite, but I find this parable kept coming through where it's like we need the good side of Aries. We need everyone to be a leader in their own right. But if it is anxiety producing, if it is bringing up some trauma responses, I don't want you to sink into the South Node, which is in Libra, which their statement is either we are or I balance. They're the seventh sign of the zodiac wheel. This traditionally is run by Libra, where it's relationships, the important people in our lives. It's seeing God of your understanding in others. So when you know an evolved Libra, they're extremely balanced. They can see things from both sides. They can listen and then they can engage. They can offer things, but then they take time for themselves. But an unevolved Libra can be, quick to happiness, quick to rage, quick to this, quick to this. Those scales never balance, my friends. The Libra scales, they never just say, oh, life is balanced, everything's fine. We must always roll in with the homies. I don't know why that popped into my head. Name that movie, anybody. So we have to roll with the ocean, go with the waves, and experience things in a more balanced way and face every situation that comes up as the leader that we are. North Node in Aries. So the reason that I mention being a follower and kind of what did I write? Where can you lead and where can you follow? What do you mean by that, Sarah? I don't want to be a follower. I'm a leader. I, have a growth mindset. I'm, working towards, freedom and peace in my life. What do you mean follow? Why would you say that to me? I asked a Virgo once, I want to tell a story because I find this to be very poignant. It was going into Virgo season and I was asking a Virgo about, when do you like to be the teacher and when do you like to be the student? And this Virgo sun, amazing person, he took a solid think and he said, if I am the most educated and the most well-versed person to be teaching, I want everyone to sit down and listen and I will lead the team. But if there is anyone else in that room that knows more than me, that is more efficient in their processes, and that can teach me something that I do not know, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to listen and I'm going to take notes. So I say that because the South Node in Libra is what we're releasing. And so I'll speak from I statements. This is my chart behind us. So the South Node for me is in my 11th house of community, friendships, and wishes for the future. So I can slip into any community, any group. I waitress, and my boss would call me a chameleon once. He's like, you can go up to any table and know exactly how to treat that table to give them the experience that they want and that they need and that they're looking for. Sometimes I have tables that come in and they're like, what are the planets doing right now? What the F is going on? And some tables don't want any Sarah. They want a waitress. And so I give them that. And so I offer everyone that experience. So I utilize that South Node to my benefit in my profession, in what it is that I do in this world. So that's how you can utilize your South Node placements. But when I would sink into my South Node, the last time that I had this transit happen, I was a teenager and I was in a relationship that I was not happy with. I was being, wined and dined and being brought all over the world. I was, had eating disorders. I was terrified. I was freaking out. And I just was like, this is normal. This is the way. But I had a lot that I needed to learn. So again, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. So the South Node in Libra in my 11th house of community, friendships, and wishes for the future. And I'm having a nodal return coming up soon. My natal North Node is at 11 degrees and the North Node in the sky is at 18 degrees. So that's not coming up for a little bit. I have some time. It kind of chugs. And so with the South Node in my 11th house of community, friendships, and wishes for the future, I have to stay within my sovereignty regardless of the rooms that I have to leave. Because at the end of the day, it's something that I really decided to leave in 2023, which was lying by omission. My trauma response is a fawn response. I'm an adult child of alcoholic parents, of emotionally unaware parents. And so when I was growing up, I'll give you just a parable of my trauma responses. The clinking of ice in a glass of pure vodka. used to be one of the most comforting sounds that my human body would experience, because I knew that my father was home from work. He's going to have, in maybe 20 minutes, I'm going to be able to spend time with him, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be wonderful. But then an hour and a half, an hour, 45 minutes later after dinner, you go to your room and you don't make a peep. You don't make noise. You are not seen. You are quiet. My telepathy, I definitely shut down as a child. I have an entire series on my Waking Up Post-Woke, which has my human tail. I'm not going to repeat any of that there. But when you're an empath and you can step into a room and feel the energy of everyone around you, that's A, a superpower, but B, a trauma response. That's not normal. Not everyone on this planet can do that. I know Pisces. I know Cancer. I know. Dude, right? Whoa, news, news, dude, I know. So for me, it is incredibly awkward to even say things like, thank you for sharing. That's not my reality. That's not the world that I live in. And I'm getting used to it. It's something that I'm stepping into more fully, because what I find is that the people in my life, after I say things, like I was having a chit chat the other night with a coworker, and we were talking about certain like medical things. I was like, oh my God, thank you for sharing. That's not the universe that I live in. That's not the world that I live in. And then he asked, what are your belief systems? And I explained them to him. He was like, oh my God, I understand. And I get like a lot of that. And I agree with you on a lot of that. And it was speaking from I statements. Whenever we have, like a physical thing going on in our body, we can either A, check the chart and see like where it's coming from, where, if you have a little tickle here, where you're not speaking your truth. If you have a headache, like where's Aries in your chart? Something going on with your feet, where's Pisces going on in your chart? Like where am I not really feeling grounded? And so those are what I look to first. But my guy, if I get shot in the face, please bring me to a medical doctor. Yeah. It's going to take a long time to Reiki heal that. So I appreciate there's a blend of Eastern and Western medicine that is best for everyone involved. So although I can be a leader and speak from I statements and say, these are my belief systems, I'm not going to tell anyone that I have all the answers. I'm still learning and growing and developing. This is just what works for me, and this is what I find to be very fascinating and very poignant. So I haven't done a significant amount of research on what the nodal return is going to look like or feel like or anything like that. I think it's like an 18, 19 year cycle that, to have a nodal return. And so I was, like I said, a teenager at that time and was not even conscious of this language. I turned down all of my telepathic capabilities. I really, like I said, I was just in it. But I was learning my lessons. So I'm grateful for that experience, because I needed to learn, I needed to follow, I needed to educate myself in what it meant to be sovereign, in what it meant to be in a relationship, all these things. I'm not upset about the choices that I made sinking into my South Node. So when it comes to, how do I say? Oh, this is another lens, the house that it's falling in. This is very triggering for me in personal growth and development. And this is why this is very, very awkward. So the North Node went into, I think like Aries starts around here. I think that this is like 21 degrees of Aries. So it was in my house of everyday life and practical service. And it was releasing a lot of old karmic contracts. Honest to goodness, after the last past life tale that I just recorded, which was the blips, I only have like a few more blips. And I was going for a walk afterwards, and I just said to myself, what does that mean? If I've seen all these past lives and I don't have any more views of past lives, I mean, it's over a dozen. So it's like incredible, but it was just, what's next? The North Node in your 5th house of creativity, play, and romance, honey. I'll take it. But it is awkward AF. Awkward AF to do things. My natal moon is in Capricorn as well, getting rocked. So it's, if I can't monetize it, what's the point? That's sometimes when it comes to leadership. Sometimes when it comes to personal growth and development, it's like I'm constantly developing. Sing just for fun. sing just for fun. Oh, also during this transit of the North Node, this is the health axis over here. So the 6th house, everyday life, what am I going into? Healthy habits. I stopped smoking cannabis flower because it was hurting my throat and destroying my voice. Yeah, I'm starting to sing for the first time again without physical pain. It's incredible. It's incredible. I couldn't, like, if you are doing something, tinctures are amazing, edibles are amazing. I'm utilizing healthier habits because, like a lot of my past life tales, I've, unalived. I've been unalived so many times younger. I, want to live a long time. I do. I'm choosing that. So the North Node is going to conjunct Chiron in the sky. This is a transit in Chiron. These 3 are natal. I don't know if you can see it, but I hope so. So my natal sun, natal Jupiter, and natal North Node are in my house of creativity, play, romance, childlike spirits, and children. Since I know that I'm not meant to have human children in this world, that is a choice of mine. I am getting off the mothership. This is a choice of my last human life. So, but I love kids and helping kids, and like they're telepathic. They're so more evolved than me, so I learned so much from working with kiddos. It's an incredible blessing. Like really, like my friends' kiddos, one of the first people that ever communicated with me telepathically, she's turned 7 last year. Yeah, my teachers are the kiddos. The babies are being born right now. They are telepathic AF. So if you're experiencing that and you're a little bit confused, please reach out directly. We can chat more about that. I don't want to completely go into that right now. So this is why, astrologers, you might be like, check your chart. Why would anyone say that? What does that mean? Do you have any planets in Aries? Because the North Node is going to transit over them. So that lens of what I'm learning, what I'm going into, I am a leader, is going to transit, highlight, conjunct, make a superpower of all of these different planets. And what we're releasing over here, like really, I released so many past life experiences. I made a playlist of them. It was profound. Like one of the coolest things, like thank you to my Atlantean self, to be able to see them all was a blessing. So I'm very, very grateful. And so even if I forget them, even if that, superpower is taken away from me, I am so grateful for YouTube because it's all recorded. So right now, what did I write down? If you're not ready, sit, breathe, learn, and grow. So I live in the United States, and so because of certain astrological transits that are going on, I won't get into any of the politics of it, but it's basically crumbling in its own capacity from the inside out. And so we're all being asked to step into our sovereignty, to take responsibility for our lives, for our thoughts, words, and actions, to recognize that no one is, coming to save us. Even a few years ago, there was a time I was like, the Galactic Federation's coming down to help us. No, like they're available. You can connect with them. When the more you ground down, you can talk to them, but no one's coming in to save us. We must save ourselves. We must be sovereign and step into our most authentic selves and release trauma responses of, it's very, how do I say without judgment? It's like the soundbite, the reel, or the soundbite of like, I'm finding my grounding, or if I'm finding my niceness, and it was like, it takes that long. Give me a minute. So without judgment, because I had been there, again, my entire Waking Up Post-Woke series, it can be very, for me, when the sleeper cell started to kind of like glitch, was when I recognized if I ever felt like this group of people over here, you're going to get your comeuppance. You're so silly. That's literally your inner adolescent being like, daddy's gonna get home and I'm his favorite and you're gonna get a lashing on his belt. So we see it and we're grateful for that mirror. We're grateful for that trigger because that's something invoked inside of us that we get to heal, and then we get to either step into a more authentic version of ourselves and just not walk into that community center anymore. So where is this falling in your chart? Where is this falling in your chart? Like, is it in your first house where you're going to be coming into your own and releasing old relationships that don't nurture and nourish you and don't support you? You coming into your own money over here and releasing other people's money, releasing shared possessions, or releasing old versions of death and rebirth, whatever that might mean for you. Are you coming into healthy communication and maybe, moving from one side of town to the other, having new and healthy relationships with your family members, with your siblings and your parents, actually siblings right over here, talk about parents here. And then kind of releasing old needs for maybe higher education. You're finding manipulation in institutions that you don't really value anymore, and you don't want to be a part of those groups. And maybe you don't want to, maybe you had a big dream of moving, like across the world, across the country, but you recognize that wherever you go is where you are. And you just want to be where your feet are. You kind of want to grow some roots. Maybe develop a new language. Maybe learn a new language. That's interesting. This is home, my pocket of the world, safety. You might be coming into a new home, expanding in your home, either nurturing and nourishing your relationship with your parents or finally setting boundaries with them and cutting people out. If the North Node is over here, I feel, and I'm sending you a significant amount of love. Because honest to goodness, it's a toughie when you know that the vibration of, healthy family units exist on this planet and you don't get to feel that yourself. I just want to offer that there, inside of your heart, inside of your soul, there's a space that a mother's love and a father's love, it's the only thing that can fill that up. And inside that, if it's just infinite, it's infinite. Just like a scar, we love our scars and we accept the reality of what we're in. I'm just offering that for anyone out there that's had to really go no contact with family members, parents, I feel that with you, and I'm sending you love from my heart to yours. And it is so, I never thought that would be the way. And I'm grateful for every lesson, every experience, everything that I've learned to stay in my truth, to stay in my energetic sovereignty. I just wanted to offer some love to you and just send you love. And I feel the love that you're sending right back. So thank you. Thank you. If you know, you know. If the North Node is coming into your 5th house right over here, you want to have kids? Go for it. If you want to experience new romance, that might be something that comes for you. New versions of creative expression. Artists are blossoming right now. Singers and dancers and performers. And it might not really make sense at first. Just keep on keeping on and keep on healing that vibration on this planet. If you know, you know. But truly, hallelujah, hallelujah. And releasing, you might be leaving certain communities that don't honor your ever-changing presence. That's okay. That's okay. North Node in your everyday life and practical service, you might change jobs, move jobs, have certain experience within your daily life and work, and you'll be releasing a lot of old soul contracts, a significant amount. Honestly, this is like what, I'm trying to think, if for Libra rising, Scorpio rising, and Sag risings, this is what's going on over here for you. So it really depends on your chart specifically. That's why I say check your chart. Check your own chart. And it's very easy to do a little search like free natal birth chart, and you put the time that you were born, the place that you were born in. There are certain apps and or websites that you can use that you don't need the time of your birth. You can look at, where the moon was the entire day. And if that's true, then you're going off of the Aries rising grid and you're coming into your own. So you're coming into your own. And please don't get mad at yourself if you don't, don't lie and don't step into negative versions of the South Node. I've been training teams for over 10 years and training people and guiding people and leading people. I've been in management, opening, cafes and in leadership, corporate, whatever it may be. And in my sessions, I'll be the first person to tell you that I don't have that information or I don't know that information. I'll be the first person to tell you that I am not the healer, the guide for you, if what you're talking about and what you're doing is outside my breadth of knowledge. I have no problem with that. Why would I accept a client that I'm their 7 out of 10 when that is taking up space of my 10 out of 10 client and keeping that client with me where their 10 out of 10 healer, lightworker, astrologer is out there looking for them? It would be very selfish and self-centered, and it will just end in misery and you're going to have a bad time, basically. You're going to have a bad time. So if you are not ready to be a leader, if any of this is anxiety producing, if you're like, sorry, I have to step into my sovereignty, I have to do this, then sit and learn and follow other leaders that are doing what it is that you have desires to do. Truly. There's nothing. Yes, we have the lens of ascension. Yes, we have the lens of solar flares and light information. I think it was Pam Gregory had said this, so I'm going to butcher it, but we received, I think sometime in January, like 5 M-class solar flares in a day, whereas in 2018, we didn't receive any all year. So the amount of light and vibrational schematics that's going on to our human bodies, our DNA is getting upgraded, we're all just turning into the most evolved type of a human being that has ever existed on this planet, and I'm not mincing my words there. It is known information. So yes, there's no dress rehearsal for that, but there's nothing on this planet that someone else has not already done and accomplished. You want to be the first something or other in your family line? Yeah, somebody else on this planet has already done that for their family line. You want to develop in certain ways? Yeah, there's a teacher for that. There's a guide for that. There's a leader for that. There's a podcast for that. There's probably free information about that. Truly. If you don't feel, like I had said at the beginning to my dear Virgo friend and the way that he expressed that, if you are not the most well-versed person in the room on the subject at hand, with humility, with class and grace, take a seat and learn from the person in front of you that knows more than you. Yes, we all know something that no one on the planet knows, but every single person on the planet, I use my wand for this, every single person on the planet knows something that you don't. So I don't care if it's someone that, you pity and that is, homeless and penniless on the side of the road. I do not care. They've tried and failed to do certain things that maybe was gifted to you. So we must find our sovereignty, yes, and step into our most authentic versions of ourselves, yes. But a leader knows that they don't know anything, that they don't know everything. A leader knows that they don't know everything. And it's, what was it, like the foundation of quantum physics, where it's like the more you know that you know nothing? I think that was from like What the Bleep Do We Know? I want to say that it was from that, but I haven't seen that since like 2005, 2006, so. Which might have been around the time of this transit. No, I think it was a little after. A little before. Interesting that just popped into my head. But a leader knows that they don't know everything. A leader knows that they cannot do all of this on their own. So be a leader and a follower. Where can you lead? Where is the North Node highlighting in your chart that this is actually how you're going to shine the brightest? Yeah. I used to be very resentful of my dancing videos, getting so many views when I was like, I'm trying to teach you about astrology and to be the greatest version of ourselves. But the amount of joy that, I get comments, I get people messaging me saying, I just watched that a few times and it brought so much joy to me. Thank you so much. I will perpetually be a violinist on the side of the Titanic. Yeah. The world is changing, but I want to boom on the way. So I learned a lot about my healthy habits, how to be the most authentic version of myself in every breath, in every moment, regardless of what I'm doing. Leaders know that I do not care. If you are scrubbing a toilet, you do it to the best of your abilities, and you do it with gratitude, and you just like, hey, get a rhythm. When you get the blues, come on and get a rhythm. Honestly, and I can't even get upset with myself about my singing. Like, I'm coming back into those high mid notes, but like, girl, the fact that I can just like comfortably sing Johnny Cash, nicely done, honey, nicely done. So I think that's it for this video today. Where is Aries in your chart? Where is the North Node falling in your chart? What do you know about any of this information? Share with me, educate me. This is just one of my lenses, astrology. It's not my full practice. You know, it's been 4 years of study of personal development, and it's been an incredible joy. And I'm incredibly blessed and honored and grateful to have this as something that the lenses of communication that I've been gifted and given, like my natal Mercury is in Pisces and my moon is in Capricorn and my third house of communication, is built into my chart to be able to offer this information to you. But I don't always have the answers. I'm learning every step of the way. So this is something that jives me and jazzes me up all the time. So I thought I would offer it to you as well. So I love you. I appreciate every single one of you. I have tons of other resources, more deep diving resources. I'll put all the links below in the description, as well as in my about section on my website. So if you're interested, sarahbotticelli.com, or send me an email, sarahbotticelli@outlook.com, and we can chit chat and I can see how I can best serve. Love you. Have a great day.